Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss one of a data engineering interview question, which was asked in one of our MNC company. So let's start with the question. Here we can see that we have provided with two data sets. One is related to the course, where you can see that we have column as course ID, course, and course fee. So here, physics is a subject which is having a course ID 100 and its course fee is 1500. And similarly, the other records are there. In second input, we have student details where we have in first record Alok, whose student ID is 1, his age is 18, and the courses for which he is enrolled are geography and biology. Okay, so here we can see that this data set is not straightforward, and you can see that the courses column is having multiple courses in a single entry in a single entry. So yeah, this is not a simple data set. So we will come back to this later. Let's first understand what output is expected from us. So here, what we need to do is we need to calculate the revenue with respect to each and every course. So for example, if I will click on geography, you can see that geography is coming in three places. Alok, Prakash, and Alok again, they all are enrolled for geography subject. And if you will calculate the revenue for this course, then it will come 1000 multiplied 3, that is 3000. But in the output, you will see that geography corresponds to revenue of 2000 and not 3000. This is because if you will closely notice that the record for Alok is getting duplicated twice for geography subject. One Alok 18 geography in line number 13, and again in line number 17, one Alok 18 geography. So while calculating the revenue, you need to make sure that you do not calculate the revenue twice if the entry is getting duplicated. So that means you need to handle the duplicates also. Another thing is whether any subject is generating any revenue or not, we want an entry. Okay. For example, in chemistry and physics, you will see that no revenue got generated, but still we want to show the entry. So again, in addition to the revenue, course revenue, we also want to know how many students got enrolled for that particular subject. We will call that column as student count. So here is one more catch. Let's say there are two subjects which are generating a similar amount of revenue. In that case, you will have to showcase that subject first, which is having more student count. For example, in geography, two students are enrolled, and in math, only one. In that case, geography record should get displayed first. After that, math record will get displayed. So let's work on this particular question, and we will solve it via Pyspark. If time allowed, then we will also see in a different video how to solve this question in pure SQL. But here we will do it via Spark code. And I would say in that Spark code, we will use Spark API plus Spark.SQL again. So wherever we will see that one particular thing is not very easily achievable by SQL, that we're going to do with by Spark API. Otherwise, rest of the things where we just need to do a simple join and some aggregation, then in that case, we're going to take help of Spark.SQL. I'm using Jupyter Notebook in order to explain this program into Pyspark. And let's start with the Pyspark program. So first of all, what we're going to do is we are going to create a data frame with respect to the second input. So what I'm doing over here is I have taken all the records as a tuple and I have saved them inside a list. And this list is named as data. Then again, I have taken one more list which will contain the corresponding column names, which is ID, student name, age, and courses. Now, once we have data and column list, now we can go ahead and create a Pyspark data frame on top of these. So this is the API which we can use to create a data frame. This is spark.create data frame. We need to provide the data set and the column names. So once you will run it, let me run it. And this is the output. You can see over here that now we have created corresponding data frame for this data input. Here you can see that in order to show the data, I have used truncate equal to false. This is because if I will not use it, here the output will get truncated where the number of characters are exceeding. In order to not get them truncated, we need to use truncate equal to false. And this is how our data frame is looking like. Now we need to focus on one thing, that this table data is not straightforward and we need to make our life easy. And our life would have been more easy if these records could somehow get split into two records, each one for geography and one for biology. And similarly, if we could split this second record into three records, one for math, one for English, and one for geography. So if you want to picturize it, this is how I want to talk. I want to convert it into two records for Alok, one for geography and biology, and three records for Prakash, one for maths, one for English, and one for geography. So let's see how we can achieve it. The one thing which should be coming into your mind is to use explode functionality. But here you should notice that this is not any array, but this is a string. So first of all, we will need to convert it into array because explode does not directly work into on top of a string column. First of all, you will have to convert it into array. So in order to convert it into array, you can use a split functionality. If you can split this function on the basis of 5 parameter, then it's going to give you an array. So let's see how to use that split functionality. So for that, I am using select expr API. I am selecting rest of the columns as is, but for courses, I'm splitting it and splitting the function which we need to use. And Inside split, you need to provide two arguments. One is the column name and the delimiter on the basis of which you want to split it. Here you will notice that I have used 4 backward slashes. These are used as an escape character. Now you need to figure it out yourself why I have used 4 backslashes and why not 2. So this is something you need to figure it out yourself. And once you know the solution, put it into the comment box. Let's see how it's gonna run. Let me run this, and we can see over here that it has converted my columns into a array data type. Okay, so now once it got converted into array data type, I can run an explode functionality on top of it. Okay, so basically just to showcase how this split is working, I have created this data frame which I will not be using. What I'm gonna do in the next step is gonna run split and explode at the same time. First of all, the split will run, and on top of it, explode will run. So what is the expected outcome of explode is it will separate these two columns into two separate records or two separate rows, one for geography and one for biology. And similarly, this record will get converted into 3 different records. So let's run it and let's see how it is running. So here we can see that for Alok, 2 records have been divided, and for Prakash, it got divided into 3 records. So here one requirement for us was to remove the duplicate. Here you can see that Anna record got duplicated twice, and even if you will see the explode outcome, here you will notice that Alok record has also got duplicated. So in order to remove the duplicates, we will use our distinct API. So for distinct, what we need to do is first of all, we need to convert all the student name into the lowercase, because here you will see that Anna, 2 records are duplicated, but in one record, Anna is in small case, and in the another record, it is in capital case. So before running distinct, let's do one thing. Let's convert this student name into a lowercase. So what I'm doing once we have exploded it, so in that exploded data frame, I'm using with column API in order to convert my column student name column values into lowercase. Okay, so this is the command for that. And when I run it, you can see over here that Anna, which was in uppercase earlier, it got converted into lowercase. Not only Anna, all the values got converted into lowercase. Now it is a good time to deduplicate our data set or to remove the duplicate from our data set. For that, we will be using distinct API. So now I'm using the stud transformed data frame, and I'm running a distinct on top of it. So this is the output we are expecting. Let me run again, and yeah, here you can see that the duplicate with respect to Anna got dropped, and only one record for Anna is coming. Even for Alok, if you will notice, the record with respect to geography is also got deduplicated, and it is coming only one in our data set. Now the data set is cleaned and deduplicated, and we can use it for our join strategy. Let's create a table on top of it. In order to create a table or view, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this API, create a replace stamp view, and we're gonna give our table a name as student. So once we have created it, let's use spark.sql and see how our data look like. Now this is a good time. We have to introduce our course data frame also. So for that, what I'm doing is, again, I have created a list of tuple where we have all the record with respect to courses. And course column, we have a column related to our course. Now, once we have our data in column, we can go ahead and create our course data frame. Again, I have used create data frame API for that. And inside that, we need to provide our data. So basically, this is not date. Let me change it to data. So let me run it, and our core data frame got created. I have used shift and enter to create it, but in order to show you that I have actually done it, let me click on run. Now, because this data set is also straightforward, we can directly go ahead and create a table on top of it. So again, we will be using create or replace stamp view. And I will be creating a table with name as course. Now let's see both the data frame or both the table at once, how they look like. So here now we have student table and course table. They are in a simple form, and now we can go ahead and run the join in these two tables in order to get the expected output. So this is the command which I'll be using. So what we have to do is we have to do a join between student and courses, because I want each and every entry from courses. That's why I have used right join over here. So the common key between these two tables, student and courses, if you go up, you will see that the common key between these two is course. That's why the join will be on the basis of course only. S correspond to student and C corresponds to course. So this is the condition we have used. Now, because the output should be with respect to course, so that's why we will have to group by utilizing the course field. Okay, so we have done the group by course. Now what we have to do is, if I go back to the output, we have to count the student with respect to the course, and also need to calculate the revenue with respect to the course. So in order to calculate the student count, we just have to use count as.id, because we want to calculate how many students got enrolled with respect to a particular course. But here is a catch that there are few subjects where not a single student has got enrolled. In that case, if we will do a count as.id with respect to that particular course, then count as.id will give me null. I do not want null as my output, so that's why I'm using a coalesce function. What it's gonna do is it's gonna replace that null with a 0. And here you can see that physics is coming with at 0 and chemistry is also coming with at 0. If I would not have used coalesce, then instead of 0, null should have got displayed. Now we need to focus on to calculate the revenue. In order to calculate the revenue, what we're gonna do is with respect to every course, right? If I'll go to with respect to every course, we need to do the sum, right? We need to do the sum of revenue. For example, geography revenue is 1,000. It is coming twice. Then these two revenue 1,000 and 1,000 should get added. So that's why we are using sum of fee column, because fee column corresponds to the fees of one particular subject. So here what I want to show is when we will run this sum command, we will get this output. Okay. And if you will analyze it closely, you will see that chemistry does not have any student enrolled. Even physics does not have any student enrolled, even though we are getting some revenue out of it. So this is because by default, when I've done the join, this is coming from the join 1700 and 1500. What we need to do over here is we should not directly do a sum. Instead of it, we should check. If the student count is 0, in that case, the course revenue total should also be 0. Otherwise, it should be a sum of all the fees column. So here I have implemented the same condition, and for that I have used case one. So what we are doing over here is we are checking if this count which we have calculated above, the similar count we are using over here, if this count is greater than 0. If at least a single student is enrolled, then only I'm going to do a sum of this column. Otherwise, I'm going to display it as a 0, because if not a single person is enrolled, then the course revenue total for that particular course should be 0. So let me run it. So here you can see that now the revenue with respect to chemistry and physics, it is coming at 0. Now the second requirement was we need to display our output where the maximum revenue should come on the top. So for that, what we have done is we have taken this inner query, and on top of it, we have run the order by clause on top of course revenue total column and in a descending order, so that the course which is having a highest revenue should come on top. Now there was one more catch. If I will not use this descending, then let's see how it will behave. So here you will see that the revenue with respect to math and geography, they both are contributing to 2,000 revenue. But we had a requirement that in case of a tie between two subjects, then that subject which is having more student count should come before. To accommodate that, we will do a order by student count, but again in a descending order, so that the course which is having more student count should come before the course which is having lesser count. If I'll run it, then you will see over here. Yeah, so the geography which is having student count more than math, it is coming before maths. So this is the output which is exactly matching with our expected output over here. Biology, geography, maths, English. Biology, geography, maths, English. Count is 221100, 221100, 2800, 2000, 2800, 2800, 2000, 2800. So this is how we can solve this problem. If you have any other way of solving it, please put it into the comment section. I'll definitely have a look into it. That's it guys for this video. Keep learning and take care. Bye-bye.